In today's episode, I talk to myself.
Tell there's nothing there right now.
I get physical with some headliner,
which is like a nice suede feel.
And we take a close look at some pipes.
I'm not sure if we can see it there as well.
Hello and welcome to Craig on Cars and the second episode of the mini-series in the channel called Craig's 8, all about my BMW E31 8 Series. For those who have watched the channel before, you'll be accustomed to me starting each episode with the car next to me, and as you can tell there's nothing there right now. But bear with me, there's a reason for that. The 8 Series is currently in the workshop having some repairs done over the winter. So come and join me as I drive to the garage for a visit, and I'll tell you all about what's been going on. Okay, so it's been 5 or 6 months since I filmed episode 1 of Craig's 8. If you haven't seen that yet, by all means go and take a look. I'll pop the link above, and it's worth watching if nothing else than the stunning scenery up on the Brecon Beacons. In that video I covered 3 main things: why I bought the car, how much the car had cost to run in terms of maintenance over 2 years, and what the car had been like to live with. So why am I on my way to the garage to visit the car? Why aren't I in it now? Well, when I bought it I knew that there was rust. That's right, shock horror, rust on an old BMW. But it's true, as good a condition as the car is, it has been well looked after in its life. Old BMWs rust. In particular on this model, the E31, they're known for going in front of the rear arches. I had some rust at the top of the A-pillar, bubbling through, and also on the top, on the roof, on the right hand side at the back. There's just a few little bubbles that hadn't broken through, but I know from the BMW forums and owners group pages on Facebook that the E31 really does like to rust inside the roof and underneath. So I knew, even though on the surface that it was hardly visible, underneath would be a different story. Now, again, it's not something I had to address right now, but after 2 years of ownership, decided that the car is a keeper, it's something I want to look after. And after discussion with the boss, that's my 10-year-old daughter, she decreed that the car had to be looked after and had to be fixed and has to be right, ready for when she drives it. She's 10 and she won't be driving it for quite some time, but she's convinced that the car is hers and it has to be right. So that was that. I had to find a garage. So the car is at a body shop called Auto Resto, classic car restorers and fabricators, and I've essentially dropped it off to them and given them carte blanche. Find rust, fixed it. It's been with them for a few weeks. I haven't seen it since I dropped it off. I know that they've started the strip down and the front and rear windscreens are out. I am nervous. I had quite a few sleepless nights before finding a garage, and even since agreeing with them that it was going to go in. I've never done anything like this before, so nervous to say the least. I'm putting my trust in the process, and the guys at Auto Resto are really great, so I do trust them, and I'm nearly there. So join me as I see the car for the first time and see where we're up to, how far they've gone. So I'm here at Auto Resto, and let's go in and have a look at the car. What are we going to find? So here's the car, and let's have a look at what's been done so far. So the front windscreen's been taken out,
All of the rust that was bubbling across the top here has been ground back. The worst bit was this bit in the corner, which obviously has been cut out. We also look around at the back, so the rear windscreen has been taken out as well. It actually is in a lot better condition than I was expecting. You can see just here there's a bit of rust which will need to be ground back and see how bad that is. It's a little bit worse on this side, so if we have a look here. So the corner of the roof skin has been taken off, and you can see that underneath we've got all of this, and that's essentially been caused over the years, I think, because the drainage channels from the sunroof get blocked up, but actually is not as bad as we were expecting it to be. I've seen other 8 Series that have had this repair done, and it's been a lot worse underneath. So the guys here need to just cut it back a bit further and see how far it goes. Worst case, we'll have to take the roof skin off completely, and either repair that here or get a new one, and either fabricate a new piece here on this part or find a repair panel for that one. And then moving on to this side, the front, obviously this little section has been taken off, and there's just a tiny little bit of corrosion here, which will be sanded back. One thing that really surprised me, actually, I've been informed, as I thought the car had its original paintwork, but this white line here indicates that the roof at least has had a respray at some point in the past, the white bit being the primer, whereas if you have a look here on the top of the door here, is grey, so this would suggest this is the factory paint. The white here all the way across would suggest that the roof has had a respray in the past. The other really quite worrying thing, actually, was with the windscreen guys that came to take the window out, said that this whole section across the bottom here, the windscreen wasn't even touching, wasn't sealed at all. So that would explain how I had water coming in to the footwell in the weeks before it came here. So what I think has probably happened is the car has had a new windscreen at some point in its life before it came to me, and it's had some rust bubbling across the top in the past as well, which has been repaired by sanding back and repainting. But this time the job's going to be done properly. So we can just see up there the rear windscreen from the car, along with some boxes where a lot of the interior has been boxed up to keep it nice and fresh. The front windscreen unfortunately cracked when it was coming out. Over here is the headlining, and actually if I peel this back we can see where it was starting to go. So while the car is in here and the headlining is out, I'll try and get a new headlining sourced. So it's never just a simple job when you start. There's always other things that need to be done when you start peeling back. So I had a message from Auto Resto asking me to come to the garage urgently because there's been a development with the car since I last came for an update. So we're here, let's go in and have a look. Wow, okay, so last time we were here the roof skin was still on, and we were hopeful that we would be able to save it. As you can tell, it's gone. it's not there anymore. The part that was sort of on our minds most at the time was this corner here, which you can see has been ground back a lot more, and well, you can see there's a few holes in it, so that's going to be cut out and refabricated. But the further it was cut back, it was discovered that, especially along this edge here, there was more rust in between. You can just see the here's my finger, just in between the seam there was more rust along there, and the roof skin itself was incredibly well bonded, so it had to come off. There was no option, and the end result of that is this. This is the roof skin. That's clearly not going back on. So we'll have to order a new roof skin, but that also means that just have a look around the front. Actually, it's on here, so you can see this has been ground back further as well along here, and all the rust that was there is gone. And if we look down here, so all the clips have been taken out, and that's all been ground back in between the bolts. There's a bit here around the bolts that hopefully will it's a bit tricky to get into there apparently, but that'll be ground out. So yeah, there's a new roof skin on the way, but that means at least that the job is being done completely and properly, and the car, once it's done, will be good for many decades more to come. Yeah, so whilst I'm here as well, the other bits of rust on the car, just to show you because I haven't captured them on camera before. So in front of the rear wheel, we've got this little piece here. You might not be able to see it on the doors, but there's just a few little spider webbing marks, and when the door is open you can see it along the bottom edge in a few places, and it's the same on the other side. And then on this side there's this piece just behind the rear wheel, and it's the same in front. And again on the door there's a few pieces. So whilst it's here, the seals will be taken off and the jacking points checked, and around the seals, and the rear bumper will be taken off in order to do this work here anyway, but we'll check what's going on behind the bumper as well. Yes, in terms of the headlining is still here. I'm having trouble finding a local company that I can send it into to have done, so that might be a project I end up undertaking myself if I can source the materials and the glue and such. Being a sport model, the car has the black headlining, which is like a nice suede-y feel. So I think I'll try and source some black Alcantara, and it might be a project I pluck up the courage to do myself. It's actually really interesting seeing the fabric of the car, the bits that you'd never see were it all in one piece. So you can see over in that corner there, and also there's a pipe just there on that corner, excuse my finger, that and it's the same obviously on this side. The drainage channels that come away from take the water off under the sunroof and stuff. Obviously all the wiring, the sunroof, the panel, and obviously the runners and the mechanisms and stuff, that's all been taken off and is stored away, ready to go back on. I thought that the rust in this corner here, not so bad on that side, had been caused by the drainage channels from the sunroof being blocked. But given that the pipes in all four corners seem fine, they'll be flushed out before the car goes back together as well, just as a precaution. Actually, I might have been wrong in saying that the rust was caused by blocked drainage channels. What the guys here think is more likely actually is that it's caused by condensation in between the layers of metal, or possibly over the years, because the seal around the rear windscreen, which actually seemed fine when it was taken out, possibly is letting water in, and that is more likely to have been the cause than blocked sunroof drains. However, the rust in front of the rear wheel arches actually could be caused by water coming down from the sunroof through these pipes. I'm not sure if we can see it there as well. So that comes down the side here and down, and there should be little holes obviously in the bottom of there that lets the water come out. But if they get blocked, we're thinking maybe that's what causes the rust on the sides here. So some really positive progress on the car. I feel more at peace with the process now since they've started. When I mentioned on my way to the garage that I was a bit scared, having never done anything like this before. But it's good, definitely no going back now. But I'm pleased with the progress that they've made, and it's really exciting to see what happens next. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you may have realised that I'm not driving my Golf. It's a car that you may have seen in other videos on the channel, and you'd be right, I'm not. Why is that? Well, I sold it. The car had been sat on the driveway pretty much since the beginning of the pandemic, costing me hundreds of pounds a month in finance, and I thought, what's the point in paying for the pleasure of a fancy ornament on the driveway? I had some equity in the car, so I thought, sell it, pay off the finance, buy something old and interesting. So that's what I did. Sold it. Search for a new car began, and in the meantime, I entered the competition to win a car for £10. Little expecting to ever hear anything of it. You know what these online competitions are like. And lo and behold, went and won the car. I really wasn't expecting it. I don't win anything other than the odd couple of quid on the Euro lottery or something. So yes, I won a car. The competition was Jeff Buys Cars. It's a 1996 BMW 728, the E38 generation. And yeah, it's been my daily steed for the last 2 or 3 months. I'll bring you an episode on all about the car sometime soon, but for now I will say thank you for watching, and I'll finish off with a slideshow of images taken of the 8 Series during the strip down and to the point we're at the moment. Thanks for watching.